Crown Prince. Several people are killed in U.S. military airstrikes at the Syria-Iraq border control point. Thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has sent a cabal of greetings to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, on the occasion of the successful surgery conducted to His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz, Crown Prince, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defense of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The U.S. military has struck militias in eastern Syria, killing at least 22 fighters in what the Pentagon said was a message from the new administration after recent rocket attacks targeting U.S. troops in Iraq. In its first military action against military groups since Joe Biden became president 5 weeks ago, the Pentagon said it had carried out airstrikes yesterday at a Syria-Iraq border control point, destroying multiple facilities. Militia border posts were also destroyed. All the dead were from Iraq's Hashd al-Shabi paramilitary force, an umbrella group that includes many small militias. The U.S. action followed 3 rocket attacks on facilities in Iraq used by U.S. and coalition forces fighting the Daesh group. Russia today condemned U.S. strikes on militias in eastern Syria, demanding that Washington respect the country's territorial integrity. Russia has been a key ally of President Bashar al-Assad's government throughout the Syrian conflict that erupted in 2011 with the repression of anti-government protest, and Moscow's military intervention in 2015 helped turn the tide of the war. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Russia wanted to know Washington's plans in Syria and suggested that the United States had no plans to ever leave the country. He said the Russia and U.S. militaries were in touch over Syria, but stressed it was important for the two countries' political teams to be in contact. Libya's newly elected Prime Minister has failed to name members of a much-anticipated cabinet ahead of an expected deadline that's raised a question over whether his transitional government can unite Libya's factions. Instead, the Prime Minister said they only shared with Libyan lawmakers proposed guidelines for the selection of cabinet members and an outline of his priorities in the coming period. He spoke to reporters yesterday in the capital, Tripoli. Appointing the cabinet is part of a United Nations-backed transitional roadmap that envisaged holding general elections in the war-torn North African country by the end of the year. Pfizer announced yesterday that it has begun studying a third dose of its COVID-19 vaccine, part of a strategy to guard against mutated versions of the coronavirus. Health authorities say first-generation COVID-19 vaccines still protect against variants that are emerging in different parts of the world, but manufacturers are starting to prepare now in case a more vaccine-resistant mutation comes along. Pfizer said it will offer a third dose to 144 volunteers, drawing from people who participated in the vaccine's early-stage U.S. testing last year. It wants to determine an additional booster shot given 6 to 12 months after the first 2 doses would rev up the immune system enough to ward off a mutated virus. Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech also are tweaking their vaccine recipe. The companies are in discussions with U.S. and European regulators about a study to evaluate doses updated to better match variants such as one first discovered in South Africa. The novel coronavirus has killed at least 2.51 million people since the outbreak emerged in December 2019. At least 112.95 cases of coronavirus have been registered. Of these, more than 69.28 million are now considered recovered. Yesterday, 11,340 new deaths and 450,127 new cases were recorded worldwide. The United States remains the worst affected country with 508,300 314 deaths from 28.42 million cases. After the U.S., the hardest hit countries are Brazil with 251,498 deaths, or 98 deaths. Mexico, 183,692. India, 156,825. And the United Kingdom, 122,070 deaths. Europe overall has 845,199 deaths. Latin America and the Caribbean, 671,087. Asia, 255,088. The Middle East, 103,478. And Africa, 102,825 deaths. Now, all the way to Sydney. Sydney Hyde Park is the oldest park in Australia, located in the heart of the city of Sydney. The park simulates Hyde Park, London, and offers a space for recreation in a crowded city. More details coming up in this report.
Sydney Hyde Park is the oldest park in Australia and dates back to the 17th century. It was one of the origins for local Aborigines, the indigenous people of Australia, before it was constructed as green spaces in the 18th and 19th centuries during the European settlement. The British General Lachlan Macquarie, the fifth governor of the Australian state of New South Wales, named this park after Hyde Park in London, England, as part of the planning process for the Australian city of Sydney. Hyde Park is located in the centre of the Australian city of Sydney. It occupies an area of nearly 16 hectares. It is close to historical and cultural sites, including the Parliament, memorial sites, and many touristic destinations, representing the eastern side of the city, which was registered on the Australian National Heritage List early this week.
National Heritage listing is a good thing, and in particular, if ever you're going to World Heritage list something that's really important, it needs to be National Heritage listed as well. And if you look at what's National Heritage listed in New South Wales already, it's a bit of an anomaly that this hasn't been, so that's why we're so pleased that it's happening today.
The centerpiece of Hyde Park, Sydney is the Archibald Fountain, which was designed by the Frenchman Francois Sécart to express gratitude to Australia for its participation in World War I in France. The park is also distinguished by its green spaces and lush shades of trees, which represent the greatest diversity of trees in the heart of the city, as well as areas for recreation and relaxation. Hyde Park, Sydney simulates Hyde Park in London through the ongoing activities that it hosts throughout the year, 7 days a week. From Sydney, Australia, Musa bin Ja'far al-Lawati.
Indeed, that video there shows exactly the same as you are in Hyde Park in London. Still to come in our news bulletin. Wadi Tanoof in the Wilaya of Nizwa is a popular destination for many adventurers and hikers for one of its rock formations, which is called Tanoof Arc. Once again, welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Oman oil price April 2021 delivery reached $64.09 per barrel. According to Dubai Mercantile Exchange, Oman oil price declined by 79 cents. The average price of Oman oil March 2021 delivery reached $54.78 per barrel, thus $4.79 higher than price of February 2021 delivery. A unique project for fish and plant farming in the Wilayah of Hyde has been launched, targeting to breed and harvest fish and plants of economical values using an integrated recycling system that makes use of large plastic tanks that are placed in a greenhouse. The project offers an opportunity to train students to manage economic projects and offer a window on potential venue for venture. An inter-agency collaboration between Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources and institutions from the private institutions has resulted in developing an educational projects for students. Abu Darda Basic School was selected for its unique spacious location, abundance of water and the agricultural community in Hyde that loves farming. The integrated recycling system used in the projects offer a chance not only to breed fish and grow plants, but also water 72 dates trees. Now, the rock formations in the mountains adjacent to the Wadi Tanoof in the Wilayah of Nizwa are a popular destination for many adventurers and hikers. The following reports sheds light on one of these rock formations, which is called Tanoof Arc.
Wadi Tanoof in the Wilayah of Nizwa enjoys a diverse set of natural geological components, one of which is Tanoof Arch. Let us discover how this amazing rock formation has become a favorite spot for adventurers. Tanoof Arch is located on top of the mountain, adjacent to Wadi Tanoof to the west. For some, the view from the bottom of the valley may look ordinary. However, for those with a passion for adventure, it is seen differently. They take the most rugged paths to explore the beauty of such spots. Ahmed Al-Abri, one of 3 Omani adventurers who explored this site and found it an exceptional opportunity to practice climbing and upskilling skills.
We started coming here since childhood with father, but since 2015 I started climbing mountains and using ropes. So I saw this window arch. Then I thought with some friends and one relative, his name is Isa, my cousin, he told me to come here. Then when we did it and I sent the picture, it was very famous. So many people asked me about it. Then I was happy. Then I started bringing tourists and expat tourists also to here. We took usually 3 hours, 3 to 5 hours. It depends on people, how they can walk, how can they hike, and depends how many people we took with us and how heavy bags we took with us.
Reaching Tanoof Arch requires advanced preparation and a high level of fitness, yet the astonishing scenery makes it a worthwhile experience.
We need rappelling skills that you can find it in YouTube, but usually we practice it with some expert friends first and then we did it. We should also have some climbing skills, solo climbing mountains. That will help also too much to have some shortcuts, to not take a long way to reach the arch. First, when you take it, you will feel fear. But once you are in the center of the rope, in the horizon level, it will be an amazing moment for you, especially if somebody can take a good picture for you in that position.
This place it looks like easy because it's 1.5 kilometers, but the difficult thing is the hiking is very steep and very difficult to go that place. It feels like when you are on the top on the road, like you are seeing an amazing view. I think this spot is very important because the beautiful places in Oman is the mountains.
With its towering height, Tanoof Arch is an attraction for many adventurers and photography lovers. The place is a remarkable chance to take the most stunning pictures and contemplate upon the grandeur of Wadi Tanoof from above. صالح بن خلفان الرحبي، ولاية أوف نزوة الداخلية، Governorate.
Tanoof Arch with stunning pictures from a report made by Saleh Al-Rahbi. Now, let's move to Pakistan. Rao Yusuf merged the back of a Volkswagen Beetle Type 1 and the front of a motorbike to make what he calls the Beetle trike. He buys vintage cars, merging their parts into new car models, and he said the Beetle trike has some commercial uses too. People in Rawalpindi and Islamabad often book it for weddings. He says when the groom and bride enter the wedding hall, people like it very much. Yusuf manufactured his first Beetle trike in 2018 at a cost of almost 1 million Pakistani rupees, which is $6,250 US. So far, he has designed 3 such vehicles. It costs 25,000 Pakistani rupees to rent the Beetle trike. Yusuf is currently hoping to bring another model to life. A jeweler by profession, Yusuf says these cars are his passion and hobby. They are also his stylish ride as he roams around the city in his vehicles. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and to conclude this news bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cabal of greetings to the custodian of the 2 holy mosques on the successful surgery on the Saudi Crown Prince. Several people are killed in U.S. military airstrikes at a Syria-Iraq border control point. And now, before we end this news bulletin completely here, we say that the sheer volume of coronavirus patients and numbers being admitted to hospitals across the country are building up, and they build big pressure to healthcare staff and hospitals. Your effort in implementing preventive measures is crucially important for the safety of you and I and the entire people here in the country. So if implemented properly, we can get rid of this coronavirus. From the entire news team here in the studio and the newsroom, we thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening and stay safe and healthy. Good night.